Of habit by continuously restimulated engrams, which are highly emotionally charged conditioners that kick in automatic responses, dangerous automatic responses, and stimulate, because of a lack of real world knowledge and preparedness, a feedback system between the body and the mind, and the brain, I should say. It's a deep conditioning over the years that take over, as it were, the body and the mind in a deep, powerful, hypnotic experience that's so powerful it's stronger than reality. If it's natural, no good. You have to train for unnatural responses. The toughest thing in the world is to beat back those conditionings, those engrams that come back to haunt and will send you right down the road of perdition when the experience hits unexpectedly, the lived experience hits unexpectedly, and the body and mind are not a unit. They don't know what to do. Let's take this analogy a little bit further. Now, I'm 5'3.5". I weigh 210. I got a big head, Humpty Dumpty head. I got large, gross features and a huge belly, 46 inches of fat gut wind. That's my credibility. That's my justification for shooting my mouth off, for presenting my 2 cents for whatever it's worth. It's important, in my opinion, to talk out on these things. Even though I can rave and rant in Hyde Park, doesn't matter. I'm going to say it. I'm going to assert it. I stand behind 100%. Back up 100%. Now, when the short, small man, the tiny man, the dwarf, the troll, the number that goes on and on, that horror goes on and on in a pandemic situation, always brushed under the table. One tall asshole said to me, "You know, man, it's open season on a short little man like you." And I absorbed the insult. I'm sorry to say it. I was a punk. I was a sissy. I backed down immediately. I'm sorry to say it. But you get nowhere bullshitting around. We get nowhere not calling a spade a spade. We get nowhere not clearly, definitively defining the problem. Now, there's no excuse. You have a camcorder on your cell phone. You have a mirror. You can look at yourself as you're performing. You can recreate what you did at the time. How you looked, how you dressed, how you smelled. Your posture, very important. Your presence, very important to instigate an asshole, a piece of garbage, to make a remark like that. That shows complete disrespect. It's open season on this short little man. And that's what I did. Your Stranger did the comedy routine, the tragic comedy routine called Frankie's Pie in the Face. I being Frankie, the little man. Emma's the girlfriend, Emma Airhead. And Big Dave, we'll call him that. 6'2.5", GQ. And first Frankie hits the stage, and Frankie's pleading and begging, and the audience is Frankie's jury. They're going to make the judgment. And Frankie's begging, Frankie's pleading, he's contrite, he's humble, he's passive. He is a perfect, humble, quiet gentleman. Shades of Elliot Rodger, the magnificent, wonderful gentleman at the Isla Vista campus, the day of retribution. Doesn't understand at all how come the brute, obnoxious, horribly behaving jock on a skateboard and a t-shirt with little in the way of manners. Little in the way of manners. And here is Elliot, little bitty guy, Percy. And he wants parity with the tall, muscular, powerful jock on a skateboard. And his parents are well-to-do. They're pillars, quote-unquote, of the community. And Elliot believes himself predicated on that to have an entitlement. To have a direct line to fairness and level competitive feel when he comes in. To have a direct line because of who he is, because of who his family is. To the gods intervene for him. It isn't fair, it isn't right. Why should a brute, obnoxious, horribly behaving jock be talking up and taking all the tall, blonde, strong, sexually, incredibly mesmerizing women on the campus? And how come a gentleman, a pure, wholesome gentleman, can't do anything? Oh, what's going on here? There's got to be something wrong here. There's only one way to correct it. Win the lotto and buy my way in with Lamborghini and fancy suits, fancy haircuts, the best of the best, and take the image away from the jock. Power the jock out and get revenge, or that's winning the lotto. Or, since he's so much physically weaker than the jock, a woman can push him down. You understand what I'm saying? No man can live with this. There's one other way. If he doesn't win the lotto, if his miracle doesn't come, if he doesn't become a multi-millionaire, and to rub that affluence and opulence right in the face of that brute, obnoxious jock, there's only one other way to get back his manhood. Day of retribution. The Great Leveler. Only what usually happens in a case like that. Now, Elliot thought he could march himself right into the sorority house, and all the tall blondes on the campus will line up, you see. So when he comes in the most efficient and direct way, he can kill them all in his mind. And when he got there, he didn't realize that damn sorority house is built like a fortress. He couldn't get in. Now he's trapped. He couldn't get in. What happens? The obvious. He performs collateral damage, and the people he wanted to assassinate, he doesn't get one of them. Except for one pretty boy in one of the coffee shops, or one of the, what do you call that, like a 7-Eleven, you know, that type of a thing where you buy a bunch of shit, the pizzas and, you know, tiny crap like that. He gets one seeming jock. Not a real jock, but a seeming jock, a pretty boy. The rest, the collateral damage, the women, not one blonde. Not one tall blonde, the rest the collateral damage. Then he kills 3 totally innocent Oriental boys, Asian boys that are living with him. 2 boys, I think it's 3. He kills them, he knifes them in their sleep. They're complete victims in this. Complete and total victims. He goes berserk. And all this has to be done quickly because once he starts the day, he doesn't have more than about 10-15 minutes to live. And it turns out to be a complete, ultimate tragedy from all the way around. And this always happens in a scene like that. There's an alternative to this that your stranger's preaching about. Take it back. Build your body strong and powerful and then some. There's no excuse. Drive iron. There's a lot of good information out there. Do it on your own. Don't depend on anybody else. Do it on your own. Mark your progress. Every day that you have only one challenge, only one thing to overcome. That's yourself. When you come in the gym, keep records. Know where you've been. Know where you're going. Know in your mind the body you have. Don't be in denial of it. Don't dream about the body you want. That's far off in the future. Rome was not built in a day. How true that is. It's a day-by-day effort. Do not compare yourself to the hardcore bodybuilders you're going to see in there. They have a lot of time behind them. They have genetic advantage behind them. Now, don't become the victim like I was and say, oh man, I have lousy proportions. I have poor genetics. I'm not, what do you call it, photogenic. I have no personality. I have no appearance. Therefore, bullshit. Don't let that be an excuse is what I'm saying. Now I'm a 75-year-old fart, and I'm looking back. I bought all the bullshit out there. I bought all the marketing, and I bought all the shortcuts there were to buy. I went for all the talismans when I was a kid, for example. We all idolized Elvis, my God. But don't forget, you're talking about a kid 4'11", and Big E is 5'11" and a foot taller. And Big E was a god. I thought Big E could walk through walls. All bullshit. He was a little guy. The truth of the matter is Elvis was a little guy. He'd be laughed off stage if he tried to pose the physique he had. That's the truth. But as a child, as a 10, 11, 12-year-old child, you buy all that bullshit. And if there's nobody around who has some intelligence, some practical intelligence, to challenge that bullshit to the child over and over again, you hit him with the facts. When he doesn't want to hear the facts, you talk through the fog. Now with your camcorder on your phone, you can film the man. You can show him what the problem is. You can show him his posture. You can show him the expression on his face. He can hear the passivity and timidity in his voice. This is what I'm talking about. Now get down. Get into it. If he starts bullshitting me, I'll say, wait a minute. Wait a minute. With your own camcorder, I filmed you. I filmed you and then I captured what I saw. But I'm going to show you this. I want you to tell me. I won't say anything until you tell me what you see there. Then I'm going to talk. And you're going to listen. The point is, you've got to make him first teachable, first reachable. Make him understand beyond any shadow of a doubt. Strong fighting skills, assertiveness skills, street smart, practical. It's got to be practical. It's got to work, man. The muscle that you build in the iron room has to be functional. You need brute strength, you need balance, you need core strength, you need punching power. When a little man, short man like me gets inside, you better hurt that big man. You better bust some ribs, do some internal damage, smash that kneecap, hit the shin, beat the body hard. Put a lot of pain and a lot of dent on your big man, a lot of hurt on him fast. The key is to disable that big man and incapacitate him as quickly as possible if he attacks you. And you have to be able to anticipate accurately the potential for that attack. Of course, it goes without saying. Only a stupid man will listen to me and not understand if you can be diplomatic, if you can talk to the man and make him rethink what he's thinking in his mind. That I'm going to put a hurt, I'm going to stomp on this little man and let him know by your presence and the power in you. And this communicates. Believe me, a powerful short man that has a lot of brute power communicates to that taller big man and thinks in his mind, I'll stomp on that little man. I'll hurt him bad. Well, no, you won't, friend, because the way he knows in his mind when he looks at that little man may be doofus looking like me. He may have big face, big eyes, big gross features, Humpty Dumpty head, no neck, short and dwarfish. But there's something about that short man, that little man, that maybe it's just not worth it for me to push this harder. Maybe it's not worth it for me to trigger the little man. Maybe he can hurt me, and even if I beat him, something about him tells me he's going to put some hurting on me. He's going to be memorable. And that's the only way. Trump got it right. It's all a life. Now listen to me and listen very closely. The man that knows is a street fight. Trump is right. It gets down in the gutter. It's gutter politics. It's a street fight. There's a lot at stake. Reputation, image, winning, and then again winning. It doesn't matter how you did it. If you play the Murphy game, now your stranger spoke about that, and you beat your sucker with a Murphy game, the sucker should have known how to see through it and put a stop to it. The sucker should have known how to stop the bully in his tracks. The sucker shouldn't have had all that larceny in his heart, wanting to cut corners, wanting to get something for nothing. Now get down and get into it. Let's ask the right questions, the ones that matter. Now get down on it.